Good morning and welcome to Watkins Glen International Raceways. We get set for qualifying for our Q3 Architecture TA2 Series presented by Pirelli. I'm Ralph Shaheen, glad to have you with us here on this Saturday morning here at the Glen. Cars have literally just rolled off the false grid out on the track, warming up those Pirellis. Tristan McKee, Thomas and Nunziata. McKee in the white, and yellow, and black, and Nunziata in the black and red 90. Two of the young superstars of this category. As our drone takes you high above Finger Lakes region here in upstate New York. This is where they head down towards the boot. Famous section of racetrack here. Downhill all the way to here till you get to the toe of the boot, and then you start climbing back up the hill. We should be seeing the pace picking up here real soon. This is the first warm-up lap. Adrian Vostovsky right there. And here comes Tristan up onto the front straightaway. Below us here at the start-finish line. Down to turn one. And the pace has definitely picked up. Way outside is McKee. Well, it took everything to keep that thing straight. Those Pirellis not heated up just yet. Down to the bus stop. Those curbs down there much bigger. Talked to some of the teams yesterday. Some of them actually had damage in the drivers going up and over those curbs. Big turtles down there. Kind of a mixed bag of impressions as to what the story was going to be with those. Some of the other drivers we talked with said, no, it's not a problem at all. You can attack them pretty hard. So apparently it's just hitting it the right way. Well, McKee gets wide again, using up all the racetrack. Back out onto the front straightaway. Keep belching some flames as he heads down to one. And again, way off, using up all that racetrack as they do here. But this time, much more controlled. The Pirelli sticking the way he expected them to. Getting our first look at times, a 1:49.716 for McKee. He was quickest on that first lap. Here's Vostovsky into the bus stop. You see him sliding through there, using the rumbles. Going up over the curbs, but not too hard. Raceway taking a different line through there. Carson Brown in the 8 car is listed as number 2 right now with a 150.708. Nathan Hearn just betters that to a 149.8. So McKee and Hearn, the only 2 into the 149 so far. Then it's Adrian Vostovsky in 4th, Thomas Annunziata 5th. DaCosta, Julian, is 6th. Sam Corey, a winner this year. He sits 7th. John Buffamonte is 8th. Will Robinson 9th. And Seamus McKendry is 10th. And it's Eric Caton, Boris Said, and Tyler Casera. That's the 20 car right there. That's the machine of Seamus McKendry, who's 10th quickest right now. That Nitro Motorsports Ford Mustang lapping at 154.942. And again, McKee is the quickest with a 149.077. '71 was Eric Caton. The Race Skill and Auto Group Mustang, 152.771. There goes the 60 car of Boris Said Jr., the Nitro Motorsports entry. Toyota Camry with a 202.687. He just improves that now to a 153.583. Boris Said. Screaming in through to the bus stop here. Nice run through there. Look at that beautiful controlled slide by the 15 of Nathan Hearn. The Owasso Speedway Blue Gold Industries Toyota Camry, a 149.830. Nathan letting everybody know he's here to play hard. He sits 3rd quickest. They're set in that 60. HendrickCars.com backed entry. Good view from the drone. Show you how this racetrack winds through the area up here above Seneca Lake. There's Hearn coming in back behind him. Tristan McKee, 149.077, quickest. Hearn 2nd, Carson Brown 3rd as Hearn moves up to number 2. There's the 8 car, that's Carson Brown. The Pay Cafe Ebb Logistics, Scott Legacy Racing M1 race car, Chevy Camaro. 149.791. Carson sits 3rd, and McKee is on pit road. That's DaCosta in the 30. That really cool throwback Toyota paint scheme. Julian DaCosta driving for Nitro Motorsports has his Toyota Camry with a 150.869. He's in 8th right now. Top 5, all in the 149s. Good look at the 10 car. Tyler Casera, driving also for Nitro Motorsports in a Toyota Camry. He's the last car in the 149 range with a 149.886. Of course, our Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series presented by Pirelli will be racing later this afternoon. You'll see it all live on Speed Sport 1. Looks like Vostovsky is done. Still 5 cars in the 149 range. Drone trying to catch up here as they're coming up out of the boot. Of course, here with Trans Am, we are running the full course, the long circuit as it's known. .45 miles in length. As we see many of the teams pulling onto pit lane here, let's get you a rundown through the field. McKee is quickest in his Spire Gamebridge Scott Legacy Racing M1 chassis Chevy Camaro, 149.077. Nathan Hearn second with a 149.505, so about half a second difference there between the two. Then Carson Brown is third with a 149.791. Fourth is Thomas Annunziata in his Camry with a 149.860. Tyler Casera in the 10 driving for Nitro Motorsports. He sits with a 149.886. So it's interesting. Nitro has 4th, 5th, and 6th. Sam Corey is 6th with a 150.069. So just 0.02 of a second between Annunziata and Casera, and then it's about half a second, no, 0.2 of a second from Casera to Sam Corey in 6th. So those 3 Nitro cars all pretty close. Vostovsky is 7th with a 150.208. Julian DaCosta is 8th with a 150.869. 9th is John Bufamonte with a 151.009. Eric Caton rounds out the top 10 with a 151.934. Seamus McKendry, 151.992 for 11th. Will Robinson, a 152.497. He's 12th. And Boris Said rounds out the field of 13 in his Nitro Motorsports Toyota Camry with a 153.253. And while we're in between groups here, we'll take a quick break and we'll come right back to Watkins Glen International. Stay with us, everybody. It's going to be a great day of racing from here at the Glen.
Rev up and get ready for race day with Mission Foods. The world's best racers and tastiest products come together to make every race delicious. Fully loaded tacos, fast wraps, piled high nachos. Whatever you crave, Mission will help you be race ready with easy-to-make recipes that will take your race day to the finish line. Keep your racing delicious and enjoy all the mouth-watering action. Brought to you by Mission Foods. Too fast, too tasty.
Architecture is about everything. We change the environment. We are changing how people live in the environment today.
So we basically put our fingerprint on the future of what the United States looks like. My overall business philosophy is that I'm engaged with my company from top to bottom. And I think the racing world and helping out the next generation and younger drivers is a passion of mine. And it's getting stronger and stronger every year. With that, that's why I want to be involved.
And we are back live here at Watkins Glen International. This is the second wave or second group of the TA2 cars. Cube 3 Architecture TA2 presented by Pirelli. Barry Bowes out in front of Jared Odrick. Here's a look at the top 13 qualifiers out of the first group. McKee, Hearn, Brown, Annunziata, and Casera setting the pace. Then young Sam Corey after that. Corey, of course, a winner this year. Annunziata grabbing the first two this season. And Tristan McKee becoming the second youngest winner in the history of Trans Am at a tick over 14 just a few weeks ago at Mid-Ohio. Barry Bowes there in the 27. Again, this is that opening lap of the session. Everybody trying to weave back and forth, put a little heat in those Pirellis. You can see the beautiful countryside that surrounds Watkins Glen. This is where they hang the left and start heading into the boot. NASCAR would go straight to the right there. That's the short circuit. Everybody but NASCAR runs the full long circuit here. In fact, many of the top NASCAR drivers over the years have begged the sanctioning body to let them run the full circuit as well and race down here through the boot. Don't know why they still haven't done that yet. This is where they come up over the hill and start heading back towards the connector to the short circuit. It's a steep run downhill into the boot and then a steep uphill climb out of it. There they connect back on. And you get the left here. Just head you to the right, which is where Barry Bose is right there. There goes Jared. He's into it as well. Now you're out onto the front straightaway. This is where the pace will start to pick up now. Still going to be a little slick down into turn one down here, as we saw in the first group with Tristan McKee. He was way off there using up all that racetrack. You can see how over the years they've extended the asphalt out there. This is the famed S's here at the Glen over one of the numerous tunnels around the racetrack. Come out of the S's and it's a short burst of speed down here. So you get hard on the brakes, turn it to the right and run it through the bus stop chicane. Talked about those big curves, the turtles through here. But he's being very respectful so far through there. That bus stop was added after a couple of horrendous wrecks down there just before that right-hander. Tommy Kendall, of course, in his IMSA prototype, destroyed that car and almost himself. Sadly, we lost J.D. McDuffie there in a NASCAR Cup Series race here in almost the exact same location. After that, the bus stop was put in just to slow them down a little bit before they get to that big right-hander at the end of the straightaway. Here you go up through the S's. No, actually that's coming out of the boot. We're on board with Barry Bose, so we're going to make the right here and come out onto the front straightaway. We'll go for a full lap with him, give you an idea what it looks like. He should be up to good speed now. Down the front straightaway. Hard braking here into turn one. Use up that extra part of the racetrack out here. Over the curbing now, set yourself up for the S's. Very, very fast. Takes a lot of courage to be quick through here. Most daunting part of the racetrack here. Get ready now, bus stop coming up. Right here. On the curb. More aggressive this time as Barry's really picking up the pace. Takes you right into the right-hander, and it's going to be a short burst down to the entrance into the boot right here. Make sure you go left and not right. And now you'll see how steep it is downhill. Very downhill to the left, and you're still running flat down here all the way to the bottom of the boot, down to the toe. And the climb out begins. You see how steep it is coming back out of there. Still going up. Again, using all the racetrack. Left-hander here. You can see how narrow he can feel racing around here at the Glen with those blue guardrails on both sides of you at some point. Right-hander out onto the front straightaway and another lap begins. Let's see how Barry did. His best, a 1:56. 153.586, 156. He just moved. He jumped up to a 150.993. Barry Bowes jumps to a 150.993. That's good for ninth. He would be the fastest car out of this group so far. Keith Prochuk is moved up to 14th with a 153.056. Jared Odrick, 153.076. He's in 16th. Doug Winston is 19th. Tom Sheehan is 20th with a 154.729. Bob Accardo, his Mustang, a 155.3. Brandon Hampson, a 157.6 and 22nd. So Bowes, Sabato, Prochuk, Odrick, and Phillips, top 5 in this group. Just 6.5 minutes left in our Q3 Architecture TA2 Series presented by Pirelli. On board Cale Phillips here, giving you the view as he comes out onto the front straightaway. Pits to the right, main grandstands to the left. Now this was not where the first pit lane was here at Watkins Glen when it was originally built. It was actually down here to the right. And they did a little reconfiguration of the racetrack and the pits were moved to where they currently are up on the main front straightaway. In through the S's. Look how aggressive you have to be through here. Razor sharp with your line. Carry as much speed as you possibly can through there. See how aggressive he is through here at the bus stop on the curves. Boy, he's really using them up. And the majority of the car up and on top of those curves. Now, quick left and down into the boot. Taking a look at the 99 of Phillips from above now. He sits 19th with a 154.214. Watching our Pro-Am cars here. Barry Bowes leads the championship standings in the Q3 Architecture TA2 Series Pro-Am Challenge. Jared Odrick is second. They are separated by 9 points. Keith Prochuk is third, Doug Winston fourth, and Sheehan fifth. And that's pretty much where they are in the qualifying here today. Bowes right there, points leader, sits fourth. Boy, he's jumped up to a 149.827. So Barry really coming to grips with this racetrack here this morning. Prochuk, who is third in the points, second in qualifying. Sabato is third, but he's not in the top 5 of points. Odrick, fourth quickest, and Jared is second in the points. And then you got Winston and Sheehan. Winston sits in 19th and Sheehan in 21st. Very impressive run by Barry Bowes. He moves in front of Thomas Annunziata, kicks him back to 5th, the two-time winner this season. So Barry Bowes really looking strong in his number 27. On board with Barry here. An Axio Data M1 race cars, Chevy Camaro. There's a good look at those narrow tunnel-like feelings as you race through this section of the Glen. Making his way out on the front stretch, probably headed to pit lane. Why not? He's quick. Nothing left to prove from there. Yep, that's where he's going, pit lane. Barry Bowes is done. Two minutes left in the session, but he doesn't need it. He's 4th quickest overall with a 149.827. And he's first in the group for the Pro-Am Challenge by a significant margin. 2 seconds, almost a full 2 seconds between him and Prochuk, who sits in 11th with Sabato and Odrick right on his tail. Look at how close Prochuk, Sabato, and Odrick are. 151.3 and 151.38 and a 151.5 between those three drivers. And it's a 149 for Bowes. Huge gap. There's Phillips pulling into his box. Clock just ticking down till the checkered waves end the session officially, but it looks like everybody is on pit lane. Here comes Jared pulling into his spot. Former first-round pick of the Miami Dolphins, defensive lineman. And here's a look at your results. Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series, presented by Pirelli. 14-year-old Tristan McKee, 149.077, setting the pace for everybody here today. Nathan Hearn showing up and saying, I'm ready to fight for a win. Not just on the box, but I want to win. 149.505. Carson Brown, always quick when he's here, 149.7. Barry Bowes, stunning performance out of the Pro-Am group with a 149.8, goes to 4th. Two-time winner Thomas Annunziata will start 5th, 149.8. Then Casera, Corey, the Lime Rock winner, Adrian Vostovsky, Julian DaCosta, and Gian Buffamonte. That's your top 10. Prochuk, Sabato, and Odrick, that's a very tight group there, 11th, 12th, 13th. All three of those cars in the Pro-Am category. Then Eric Caton, McKendry, Robinson, Boris Said, locks in 17th. Doug Winston in the title fight. Pro-Am category is 19th. Cardo 20th. Rounding out the field, Tom Sheehan, Brandon Hampson, and Magic Tunovich. We've been talking about the Q3 Architecture TA2 Championship. Let's show you the point standings there. Tristan McKee on top of Thomas Annunziata. McKee will start on the pole. Annunziata rolling off 5th here today. Rafa Matos is next, but he's not here this weekend. Sam Corey, and then Julian DaCosta. That's your top 5. Vostovsky, Skeen, who was so dominant when he showed up in Road America. Here's the Pro-Am points that we were talking about. Bowes, Odrick, Prochuk, Winston, and Sheehan. That's your top 5. Now at 12:30 this afternoon, that's 12:30 Eastern Time, make sure you're tuned in live on Speed Sport 1, where you'll be able to see all of today's race. So we will be back here live on Speed Sport 1, 12:30 for the Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series presented by Pirelli. For now, I'm Ralph Shaheen. See you folks a little later on today. Have a great morning.